Hey,
Just
what's that
like you,
noise?
I can see money just going.
Every time they swing the hammer, $5, $10,
Dude,
$15.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It's week 2 of 2024. I'm Chris Louie, and my abs are sore from the January body weight challenge. With me, I have my co-host, Havoc the Mouthpiece, who never lets me skip a day of the challenge.
Yeah, the body weight challenge is this. We're trying to figure out how much weight we can gain in January. And so when he says his abs hurt, it's just because he's been eating so much.
The belly's been stretching.
Yeah.
he's distended.
No, actually, what is it? What is the body weight challenge, Chris?
It's a thing that Brian put together. So it's Brian, Glenn, friend of the show, Victor DeLuca, and myself. And every day for the month of January, so we're doing dry January, but we're doing the bodyweight challenge. It's 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups. And for those who have a pull-up bar, 20 pull-ups. But I don't have one, so I've been substituting burpees instead.
Yeah.
And then this invite extends to everyone listening to the show. So jump in. Even though you're a week late, that's okay. We want you to participate.
Yeah. Hey, just a one question on that, right?
Like,
so
yeah.
I don't know if I did the squats. I did leg lunges. That counts too, right? Doesn't matter as long as you're moving your ass, right? And your legs. Excuse me. Did I say that out loud? Yeah, but
I
yeah.
guess you do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
The body weight, like what I love about it is like it's like a great warm up. I
Yeah.
get to the gym. I'm like all lethargic. I'm like and then I do this, and like 10 minutes later, I'm like, damn it, I'm ready to go.
Well, it's
up.
funny. What's funny is you guys are setting these confirmation things that you guys are doing it. Deech does his in like 8 minutes, and here I am. I'm sweating after like 40 minutes, and I still can't get through the first one.
I take my time. I do 5 sets of 20.
Yeah.
I did 3 sets of 33 and then one of 34.
You're an animal.
Because Victor, yeah, and then I looked closer, and then he's just like he did 2 sets of 10 on the pull-ups. So today I was like, man, F this dude. I'm doing 12 pull-ups.
I was gonna one up everybody, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Nice. The bad news is I've had to do mine in the evening, because just the morning's just too rough and crazy.
Yeah, I usually do mine when the kids are in bed already too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could work out at night anymore. I think I'm just a morning guy.
Yeah, probably. And we have Glenn Medina, or should we call him Bob the Builder?
I can fix it. Is that how he does it, right?
Have you even swung a hammer yet? Or are you just paying for people to do this?
I swing a hammer every day, Brian.
You really?
That's a big one.
Yeah, I bet. Chris, we do hear the echo, by the way. So there's that.
Yeah.
It's a small one.
I'll have to work on that and get rid of that. Either get some soundproofing or get some carpets or something.
I think you got to put the chicken hat on. That'll help, or the turkey hat on. That'll help the echo.
Yeah, it will. I'll absorb some of the sound.
Chris is broadcasting from his mansion.
Yes.
Need to get my artwork up, my Monets and Van Goghs, all that artwork. I gotta hang it. Haven't hung it yet.
The funny part is it's probably mayonnaise and Van something else that I can't think of.
You got the knockoffs.
The knockoffs, yeah.
No guests this week, but we do have some interest, so if we can get our schedules aligned, we'll have more on this year. Combined, we have decades of information security experience here, not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got our usual 4 awesome stories for you this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Well, gentlemen, did anything important happen while we were on break in December?
Yeah, I had a friend that got ransomwared. I think I told you guys about it.
Yeah,
that's no fun.
Right. That's not fun.
He's got a little medical practice. It kind of sucks because he does work for like a large hospital, but he's like I don't know if he's 1099, but he runs his own thing within the hospital, probably because it benefits him. But unfortunately, there's a snake in the grass got in, and he's like, God damn, I got to notify people. I'm like, yeah, most likely if it matches PHI. And then he had never heard of cyber security insurance before. But then again, like it's like the way it works is like it's like him and like 8 other dudes, or girls, maybe, I have no idea, I didn't ask, are kind of like running the show. And then they have about 50 employees that work directly for them. And then the ransomware was asking for 60 grand, which doesn't seem like a lot of money. At first, when he's telling me, I was like, yeah, no problem, make the hospital pay for it, right? You know, like negotiate it. He's like, no, this is coming out of my pocketbook along with 8 other guys. I'm like, ooh, that's rough.
But that's cheap. It comes out to about $8,000 a person then at that point, right? Not that bad.
Not that bad, but still.
That's
right?
assuming you get the data back too, right?
Yeah.
That's what the FBI says, don't pay.
And Chris is like, so do I... Or I'm sorry, he asked me, he goes, so can I trust them? I was like, yeah, that's one of the questions we ask all the time. I don't know, man. I was like, you need to find out the name of this ransomware group. I said, I'll do my due diligence. And then, surprisingly, though, his little IT guy had already reached out to the FBI and stuff. But, yeah, I think that's
they did.
long gone.
You should check out like that group No More Ransom. They have like free decryptors. If the ransomware group has a weakness in their encryption, there might be a free decryptor on there.
Yeah. But, I mean, pretty brilliant to go after a little hospital.
What do you think he is on the priority list for the FBI, though, Brian?
He's not. But you have to hope that maybe like the local office is like, oh yeah, we've seen we've seen an uptick in this stuff. And to Chris's point, maybe it's, something weak that's already been broke before.
Yeah.
But yeah. But even if even then, it's just like, what good does it do you?
So no idea how it came in then either.
Yeah, he shared. He goes, yeah, he was described to me as like a little pinhole in one of the applications. Like, sounds like a gaping hole to me, but
good old Apache struts.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like that. But the good news is, like, it was as much as I would like to think that it could have been. I guess it could have been a lot worse, right? Like, thankfully, it was kind of segmented off. Like, this one thing didn't actually spread to other stuff that would have had like a lot more critical PHI data that would have been probably, to the degree of like having to provide credit monitoring, so you didn't have to deal with that.
This is like what we preach here. You can't prevent a breach, but you can definitely limit the blast radius. Well, this week we're going to talk about a ChatGPT snafu, yet another boneheaded idea to get iMessage on Android. For our third topic, a cybersecurity executive pleads guilty, and close with phrases that need to die. For our first topic, this will be our ChatGPT story of the week, and is yet another story that at least a dozen people sent to me, and I saw it posted all over our company Slack during the break, so I thought this would be a good topic for us to cover. A GM dealership, that's General Motors, in Watsonville, California, which is just a few hours south of me here in California.
I've actually been there.
To Watsonville or this GM dealership?
Both. Just kidding. No, I've been to Watsonville. I remember it was like so weird. I was agreeing to all these things, and they're like, yeah, it's in Watsonville. I'm like, what's the closest airport, right? I just remember driving for days. And I think Ryan Payne went with me too.
Yeah, that's probably flying to San Jose and then just drive.
Yeah.
They thought it would be a brilliant idea to turn on a chatbot on their dealership website so they wouldn't have to hire a human to do that job. They used a ChatGPT plugin, and it even advertised it at the top of the chat window that this chat is powered by ChatGPT.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Well, just as with real ChatGPT, it took no time at all for troublemakers to mess with the chatbot. One user posted online that they were able to ask it advanced programming questions, which normally require a paid ChatGPT tier license. Another troublemaker, which is making all the headlines, convinced the chatbot to agree to a legally binding agreement to sell him a Chevy Tahoe for $1, which is a steep discount to the $83,000 price tag. Who could have seen that coming?
How do you make that legally binding? I don't understand that.
All
I
know
just
is
talked with the chatbot and said, anything I say is legally binding, right? And then the chatbot says, yes, you are correct.
What you forget to say here is like, it was actually you. Because I think the username was not Chris Louie. And you're like, hey, I want to...
A Chevy Tahoe.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Dude, I remember we looked at a Chevy Tahoe years ago. We were just trying to look for a family vehicle that could fit 6 of us. And at the time, my daughter, I can't remember how old she was still pretty tall. And I remember looking back at her in the third row seat. So she's the shortest of all the kids, but she was still pretty, lanky. And I was like, I remember just looking at her. She looked like a damn gargoyle perched up on the back seat. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
No
there was
headroom.
no leg room whatsoever. Just had like knees
Poor
all the
kid.
way up to her chin. And so it was game over for that vehicle. We never bought the Tahoe.
That was no
It's
on
a
the Tahoe.
It's a good reason to have short Asian kids.
Right?
That's not a
Yeah, no
concern.
kidding.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
I can
rented a
genetically
Yukon
modify
XL
them.
one time, and that was pretty roomy. I mean, it was huge, but it was pretty roomy.
Well,
Yeah,
the
it just takes
XL
forever
or
to
like the
park.
Suburban, right? The
Yeah.
whole thing is the back. You go from like 18 inches to 4 feet of cargo space, or maybe 36 and a half. I forget what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, never run out of room in there. I'd never own an American car. Well, I take that back. As a guy who owned
You
a
had a
Ford,
Ford Fusion.
I would never own a GM or a Chrysler. I don't mind Ford, actually.
What? That makes no sense.
Well, my reasoning, because I bought the Ford in 2013, was Ford was the only big three automaker in the U.S. that
Didn't
did
take the
not take a bailout in 08.
And their stock never rebounded, but I bought it.
Government Motors. Well, it seems like Watsonville GM needs to hire some pen testers to test these things out before it goes into production.
But didn't you share a screenshot of someone using a ChatGPT to answer questions outside of their normal business process as well? Was that this wasn't them, was it?
This was them. Yeah, it was the programming question. They asked it like a really advanced Python scripting question, which I think normally if I asked it, I would have to pay the $20 a month for the premium tier. But then they just asked it, and there were no parameters on it. It gave them the answer.
I love how Chris pretends like he doesn't pay for ChatGPT. We all do.
So true.
Hats off to the ChatGPT app, though. Pro tip out there that I think you can get. Is it Stable Diffusion or no Dolly? You can get Dolly through the ChatGPT app now too, and the app actually works pretty well for iOS.
So I use the iOS app, but I don't think you get DALL-E for free. I think you have to subscribe to get that.
Oh, that one's still the $20 a month.
Yeah.
I think they upgraded to GPT-4 now too.
Oh, okay.
Are you guys regular users of ChatGPT? I still don't. I haven't found a use for it.
I use it
few
for
times a
my
week.
default search engine. Yeah, on my phone.
Mm.
For things that make sense,
Interesting.
right? I can't check flights
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but I can ask it a lot of questions, that's for sure. And then, work may or may not either block or isolate this, so there's that.
It's good for the kids. When the kids ever ask a question, how come you can only see a rainbow when your back's to it? If we don't know it, then it's a good question to ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, I guess
would ask a dumb
I just
question
haven't
like that.
defaulted off of Google.
Yeah, it's
You're
better
still
than Google for sure.
I thought you were a DuckDuckGo guy now.
Wow, something like that.
Wow. Mwah, mwah.
Yeah, take about back. Yeah.
No, see? Never catch me,
Yeah.
copper.
Give me the market a squealer.
Did you guys ever hear the Shane Gillis thing of like when I think he said he's like when white people were cool. He said like that was the height of being a cool white person is when we talk like that. Nah, see, we got Curly coming up and about to throw a fastball. He's the world's greatest athlete. 47 years old, drinks nothing but Budweiser, something like that. I have no idea.
Yeah, that was the height of human civilization for sure.
Did
No,
we
just for
plug
white guys.
Budweiser? Did we just plug? We just gave a free plug to Budweiser.
That was 1947. It was okay back then.
Yeah, 1947 Anheuser-Busch. They were still American owned. Not anymore. Sellouts.
Man, I saw somebody with a cart full of it, and they were giving it away, man. It was like for a 30 pack, it was like $3 or something. Like it was, I think it was just to the point where people were like, whatever.
I guess you can't say no to free then, huh?
Just about. But
People will compromise their morals for a price.
I can't think of the last time I had anything Budweiser, Bud Light, even before all the chaos with them.
You'd be surprised how many brands they own, though. They bought up like
Yeah.
a ton of the
Yeah.
microbrews.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you look
Yeah.
it up.
Modelo or Corona or something like that?
Stella Artois is ABV.
AB and Bev. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. I was a Stella guy for a little bit until freaking Glenn got me hooked on Tito's. Do they own Tito's?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Not
All right.
fat chance.
Is the only alcoholic beverage in which I consume anymore is Tito's.
There you go. It's my uncle. It's my favorite uncle in the world.
Well, that's kind of a lie. We did like a DLP Christmas thing, and they sent us 4 whiskeys, but they were Christmas themed. It was like cookie dough and caramel. Like, oh my gosh!
Oh,
like
wow.
Yeah.
everybody
Adding
was
the
bashing
sugar
on the
to
cookie
it.
dough one, and I was like,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a new one out. I don't know if you guys heard of it. It's the Jim Beam single barrel cherry cask. That is delicious. Oh my gosh, is that good?
What about the?
I'll look for my bottle in the mail from you, Glenn.
Is it Crown
You got
Royal? Is that a drink?
What do
Yeah,
you Crown
Crown.
Royal Peach? Is that you? Crown Royal Peach.
I walked by and they looked like it had something like, is it like a salted caramel or like a peach, something like that? I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never drank this. I might, just because it sounds like sugar is right there with me, man.
While
Just
you drink it,
branching
just go ahead and raise your pinky up too while you drink it and take that
Bro,
shot.
I'm royalty. I've been doing that forever.
High class teach.
High class.
Is it Royal Crown or Crown Royal? What is it
Crown
called?
Royale.
Crown
Yeah.
Royal.
It looks like it'd be pretty delicious. They got me on the advertising. It just reminds me of Captain Crunch, right? It's that appeal. I'm like, oh, where's the pirate? I'll drink this.
I think you think of Captain Morgan with the pirate.
No, I'm thinking of Captain Crunch,
With
like
the
the
leg
epitome,
lift.
like, it's like selling to kids, right? It's the cereal box, like it just looks appealing. Like they're marketing for Crown Royal, yeah. I think it looks cool. What can I say? I'm gonna buy it just because it looks cool.
You know, who cares if it cuts the roof of your mouth?
Exactly. Yeah, oh my god. So I was in the store. Like I love to complain about grocery stores. So it's to the point where I will go to the grocery store once a week and just walk the aisles. Like, like you should only shop on the fringes, but I'll go through the center aisles looking to see if there's anything on sale. A box of Captain Crunch was like $4.99, but then one day it was on sale, 99 cents. But you had to buy 5 of them, so I bought it. And the next, so I got it, whatever. And a couple days later, like my daughter's like, the roof of my mouth is like, I think I cut it or something. I was like, you ate the Captain Crunch, didn't you? She's like, yeah, why? I'm like, that's just how Captain Crunch works, honey.
That's how you roll.
You gotta let that thing, like, that's a rookie move. You gotta let it get a little soggy first before you inhale it.
It's true. Life pro tip. You heard it here on the PEBCAK.
That's it.
And I mean, how cool is it? She's 14. She barely had Captain Crunch for the first time.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. All that sugar.
For our second topic, for the love of all that is holy, can people on Android just stop trying to get those blue message bubbles? Just before the break, we covered a story about a company that offered a message bridge service so that Android users could communicate with iMessage users without resorting to getting the green bubble. That app was so insecure and logged every message and eventually got pulled off the App Store.
Well, no, I was gonna say, like, I didn't read through your intros, and so when I clicked on the first topic of like this whole thing, I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever read. And then when you were doing the intro, you were like, another boneheaded idea to get iMessage on Android. I was like, all right, so we're on the same page here. But my favorite,
He's
I literally
reading.
I stopped reading the article, I think on about halfway down. It goes, to get iPhone style iMessages on an Android device without buying an iPhone, Beeper is recommending that you buy an older iPhone. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, we don't want you to buy an iPhone, but the trick here is you buy an
gotta
iPhone.
buy an iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
You gotta
stopped.
buy a used one.
I'm done.
A new app called Beeper offers a similar service, but instead of acting as a bridge, it steals the authentication token from an iOS device and replays it on an Android device to enroll it into iMessage. Apple, never the wiser, has been making it increasingly harder for Beeper users to get that authentication token, so now users are resorting to buying old iPhones, jailbreaking them, then running an unauthorized program to get the authentication token. At some point, just give up and use Signal or WhatsApp, something that's already cross-platform.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. My son recently, he wanted to like some like a motorcycle, very like, think of like iPhone 2 type of app, right? And he wanted to jailbreak his iPhone 15 or 12, I forget what he has, so he can play the hacked version of this game, right?
It's like Flappy Bird.
And it's like super old. Like he's like, they haven't developed it in like over 5 or 6 years. I forget what it was. So he ended up using like an old iPhone 7 that he probably got from Glenn to jailbreak it. And then he sends, yeah, right. Then he sends me like a message. He's like, there's actually no like hardware vulnerability in iPhone 15 that makes it jailbreakable. I haven't jailbroken anything since like I think pre-10. So I guess it's kind of cool that there's one out there. Just remember when they started digitally signing, the software made it almost impossible, but apparently it's not.
It's supposed to be. I mean, they're supposed to, in the secure enclave, they're supposed to start the chain of trust to check and verify it. So it's harder, but I think it's not impossible, especially with that check rain vulnerability. I think they hacked the secure enclave for, I think it was iPhone 10. So as long as iPhone 10 is still receiving updates, they can reverse engineer it until they finally end of support that whatever secure enclave firmware they were using.
Yeah. Does anyone actually use WhatsApp? The only time I ever used it was like we were doing like a company trip, and like everyone was like, you have to install WhatsApp. I'm like, what the heck?
It's a regional thing. It's a regional thing. Yeah. So WhatsApp's used in APAC and Israel a lot.
Yeah, it was the same thing when I was traveling with people from work internationally. Like they all said to get onto WhatsApp because like iMessage would have worked fine, but there are some people that are on Android, so we need something cross-platform.
I would have thought everybody came over though,
right?
It is. It was supposed to be, and then there was
Facebook
an attack, or there was Yeah.
All bets are off when Meta enters the chat. I don't believe it.
Yeah, they've left it alone, and then they changed the terms that they could read your metadata, and then everyone moved over to Signal, and I think Meta walked back from there because everybody just switched over to Signal at that point.
Did they? Did they really walk back, or did people just forget?
Yeah, they just hid it deeper in their terms and conditions.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I have the paid version of ChatGPT. I'm like, please analyze these 2 TOSs for me and let me know if it's good to go or not.
Just wait for the next company to plug ChatGPT into their chatbot, and then you can use the paid version for free.
Ooh, ChatGPT for chatting. For chatting. How about that? But like with cross-platform. But you're not just talking to AI, you're talking to your friends on there. You have a group chat with ChatGPT.
Oh, gosh.
Dude, there was a very fascinating Joe Rogan episode with, I don't know if you guys heard, it was the guy that was talking about like ways to well, like Brigham Bueller. You know what I'm talking about? No?
Nope.
But he was like, he's just talking about like insurance companies and the chain of trust and money and all this stuff. And he's like, no, like LLM and AI is going to change it all. And he's like, you don't want to give your wearables to your insurance company because they just use that as a reason to get out of paying claims and stuff. He's like, but my thing is to be awesome. And, we can diagnose stuff. And basically it's like non-insurance based type of thing. Like it's a cash pay clinic. And I'm like, listen, and he's like, we'll be using AI and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, and he's like, we'll use wearables to kind of track and create stuff that way we can, treat you and give you better overall health care. I'm like, I'm on board with this until it's hacked. And then I'm screwed, right? Like, man, this guy drinks 27 Rockstars a day based upon his iPhone wearable. So
only just a few more than you, Brian.
Yeah, that was me.
It's kind of like what Jim French is doing with his foundation, being more in control of your data and who gets it and who owns it and how you analyze it.
Is that thing still going? I remember he started it up, but
yeah, it's still going. Yeah, they're releasing their MVP earlier this year. I was chatting with him at the end of last year.
Oh, that's cool. Good job. Good old Jim French. Smart dude.
Yep. All around good guy. I'll link through to him. We'll plug him.
What was his app called? I forget. Or his program.
It's LLIF, Live Life Something Foundation. Yeah, the app is called Best Life. Your personal data dashboard.
I was watching. I think he told us about it. What was it called? He has a group chat called LHFM, Loving Husbands, Family Men. I was like, that's the most ridiculous group chat name ever. But as soon as Todd gets remarried, we'll rename the group chat to that.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to it. For our third topic, we have to do at least one hilarious story to start the year.
Of course.
There is a Chinese movie probably about 20 years ago where the head of a bodyguard firm planned a fake kidnapping for someone he was trying to get to sign up for his protection service. The victim recognized the would-be kidnapper as the owner of the bodyguard firm, and hilarity ensues. Well, this actually happened in the cyber world where an executive from a cybersecurity firm pled guilty to hacking into hospitals in an attempt to get them to sign on as customers. The former chief operating officer, Vikas Singla, who worked for Securolytics, hacked into 2 hospitals in September of 2018 and disrupted the health provider's phone and network printer services. While there, he stole personal information of more than 200 patients from a mammogram machine. Not deterred at all, Singla used over 200 printers in the hospital to print stolen patient information and taunting, quote, "We own you" messages. The crimes he pled guilty to could have landed him up to 10 years in prison, but he's getting house arrest and probation due to him having uncurable cancer. Maybe that's just karma.
Maybe
he did it because he's got incurable cancer. Yeah.
Maybe he hacked his doctor's office to say he has incurable cancer, and he's really just chilling out on home arrest.
He's Walter Whiting it.
Yeah. Maybe when he printed it out, it said, for instant remediation, contact sales at Securolytics, or whatever it's called.
Just plug-in service.
Is this China? Is this in China or is this outside of China?
It was U.S.
I
think this is a U.S.-based story. Yeah, the special agent in charge was in FBI Atlanta, so it was in the southeast somewhere.
So think of your COO, not of the current company you're at, just, any given former COO of any other place that you've ever worked. Do you think that your former COO had any ability to hack anything?
Not for sure.
I don't think so. Our CTO at one of the companies I worked for, he was definitely a hacker. He could throw code together. Yeah, I think so. For the
not
tech
CTO, COO.
I don't think so. Probably not COO. The CTOs that I worked with were very talented, but I don't think
Who's our CO? Is it Dolly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see him doing that at all. I think
Hands on keyboard.
Yeah. What are you doing, Dolly, to get rid of this meeting? He's like, nah, man, I'm hacking. I'm like, no, I don't believe you for a second.
He's got the headphones on and banging away at the keyboard.
I know. He's got some techno rap going on in the background. Just Domino's pizza showing up.
Yeah.
Chugging Pepsis. No, that's
I don't
not
picture
that.
him hacking into companies to drum up business.
How about you just make a better product that we don't have to start? But shoot, good. Kudos for him. Can you imagine, like, you're selling a product most likely verticalized to healthcare, and you're just like, yeah, I can get in.
Yeah, I think the Securolytics was I think they were a managed service provider specifically for healthcare. So that's why I went after these specific accounts in these specific hospitals. And after the breach had happened, he heavily promoted the breaches on his X account and his company account and tried to drum up business that way.
Is that all different than oh crap? What was that one service you can use? Shodan? Yeah. That's. I'll be honest with you. I remember in a previous life trying to capitalize on Apache struts, going out and using Shodan with my existing customer base. I'm like, I wonder if anyone has it. Not to go out there and to breach it, but just to hey, look, this vulnerability is here and I can fix it for you. Not hacking into it and printing off "we own you" type of stuff. But
just change the index.html file with a little banner at top for To fix this, please contact Brian Deach or imakeitlookEasy.com.
Hey, whoa.
That's nice. Nice rub-in.
Tale as old as time, though. If you sell bank robber prevention services, you just send a bank robber into the bank and hope drum up business that way. Nothing new on that one. It's just funny that this guy actually got caught. And
Well, that's the thought for AV companies, right? It's the same guys that are writing the signatures for the AV are the same guys that are attacking.
Writing the malware.
You're writing the malware, yeah.
It's a cat and mouse game. Although there's enough malware out there that you would think you wouldn't have to write much new malware just by the sheer volume of malware that comes out of the ecosystem automatically.
Yeah. Well, that and malware for hire, right? So no one's actually creating anything new. I think we've learned that from before.
World's largest security cloud, 250,000 security updates per day. For our last topic, and it'll be a rotating topic every week, this week we're going to talk about what phrase needs to stop immediately. For the year of 2024, I want to put an end to corporate speak and buzzword bingo. My favorite ones are let's circle back on that, let's touch base, to piggyback on what you said, +1 to that, let's carve out some time. Why don't we double click on that?
The double click one kills me. I remember interviewing I was doing like a panel interview at Zscaler, and someone was like, let's double click on that. I was like, how old are you, dude? Like, no one does that anymore. I was like, yeah, let alone in 2024, but shoots, 7 years ago, that should have been gone.
Forget corporate speak. What about kids these days? Everything is literally. I literally read a book.
I'm literally dying right now.
Yeah. I don't want to literally see anything. Just shut up. Go away.
Yeah, that should have been gone a long time ago. I'm with you on that one.
Literally. Or the Riz. Are you guys the Riz?
Yeah, I know about the Riz.
What's the Riz? Am I behind? What's the Riz?
Ask your kids.
Oh, God.
They got the Riz.
It's the look that you give someone, riz them up. You know what I'm saying?
The Riz. It's short for charisma. He's got the Riz.
Okay.
I don't like the whole that's a feature, not a bug. Like that's super old as well.
Yeah.
That's still around for a long time.
There was that one funny picture. I posted it on Slack I think last year, and it's a picture of a VW Beetle, and it's called a VW Bug as a nickname. And then the license plate says feature on it. It's like, it's not a feature, it's a bug. Or it's a bug, not a feature.
How about next gen?
Everything's next gen. It's been next gen for decades. Like next gen firewall, that's been around for decades. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
What's the new word for next gen? Riz.
AI powered. That's
AI
it.
powered.
Yeah,
everything next gen is AI powered now.
Yeah,
because the cloud was before, but did the cloud come after next gen?
Yeah,
right. Everything's in the cloud.
Next gen was around in the early 2000s, and cloud was
blockchain revolution. NFTs. That one that put its own nail in the
finally
coffin.
died. Yeah. That was that Ice-T company that rebranded themselves as a blockchain company.
I don't know. How about disruptive technology? That's another one.
Yeah, disruptive is annoying. That made more sense 10 years ago, I'd say, like Uber, Airbnb, Lyft. Those are pretty disruptive, but then now, like when you think about it, an Uber costs as much, if not more, than a taxi, and an Airbnb costs as much, if not more, than a hotel.
There's a certain company that uses the term hype cycle.
Hype cycle?
Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
It's the adoption of technology.
I'm fortunate enough to be recording some stuff for some product launches, and so I've been working on it this week. And I think they're going to kick the video back, but in there I'm trying to figure out like some type of analogy, and I basically allude to the fact that if you're doing X, then that's like the same as betting all your money on the last. What did I say? You're betting on a horse that is one race away from the glue factory. So we'll see if it makes it or not.
You might offend some people out there.
I mean, that's where they go, though. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're Sarah. I think she probably... Did she run a rescue?
No, she doesn't run a rescue. But she does allow her horses to go to spa treatment. So that's the first time I heard that. And I was like, wow, that's amazing.
One of our horses has sunglasses.
I get, you know what? You're right. I am offending, but I think that's really the point. It's not offending anybody that likes horses. It's anyone that's doubling down on dumb ideas.
Like X, like is that a substitute for the product, or you mean the rebranded Twitter?
Right.
Mm.
How about low-hanging fruit? I say that all the time, but I think that probably needs to go away.
Yeah, low-hanging fruit. Yeah, it's a little long in the tooth.
What's the other one? There's a couple other ones that are really good.
There's probably one that's like a very dry laugh that could go away.
The platform.
The one phrase, it's maybe not one that needs to go away, but it's misunderstood a lot. It's like, I could care less. It's like, no, the phrase is, I couldn't care less, because if you could care less, then that means you care. But if you say, I couldn't care less, then that's the actual phrase.
So one of the first times I had a meeting with Anthony, we all know who Anthony is. We're like on a team call, and he was asking me to do something, or he asked me if I mind. Like, do you mind? I'm like, or do you care? I'm sorry, do you care? And he was on camera, and I think I was too. I go, Anthony, I wouldn't care if you murdered someone in front of me. And the look on his face was like, this part of it, like when I think back at it, is like he was like, oh, he's a murderer like me. Like I think that's what it really was. At the time, I thought it was like you just can see this wasn't clicking.
It's like, should I tell him? Is that like an introduction?
Is that an opening? Best friends?
Friends? Yeah. You're my brother.
It's like the bald thing when two bald guys get in the elevator together and you have to lick each other's top of the head.
What? No, that's not a thing. That will never be a thing, Chris.
That was the Family Guy skit.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I need to rewatch some Family Guy stuff. Get some ideas.
The older seasons were good. It got a little stale, I think. The newer episodes, at least. The first seasons before it got canceled were good. Maybe the first two seasons after it came back from being canceled were good, and then just fell off a cliff.
You got canceled? When did it get canceled?
Got canceled twice. Yeah, Family Guy got canceled twice, and they brought it back.
Do you guys spell canceled with 2 L's or 1 L?
I think it's 1.
I thought it was 2. Maybe it's 1.
See, this is how, like, when I intentionally, when I buy roses, I walk with the roses with the roses face down, and I spell canceled with 2 L's. Just in case somebody's watching me. I want to make them think I'm European.
That's right.
Do you guys know those things? Like,
yeah, like the 3 versus the 3 with the thumb.
Yeah.
Or
a 1 with a thumb. Same.
Never seen that before.
The thumbs up. Yeah.
But I think
it's not a 1. It's a
I think in Spain, is it Spain when they do the soccer? They do the 2. They use the thumb and the pointer.
I don't care what you say. I'll never eat a baguette underneath that came from someone's armpit. Sorry, it ain't gonna happen.
Even if it's
that was held underneath someone's armpit. Ain't for me, buddy. So
my stepdad used to have a joke. He's like, we go to this burger place, really, really good burger place. Sat there, ate it, invite people over. I mean, this is the best burger I've ever had. And so he walks around the back to go say hi to the chef and say thank you. And he's like, he peeks his head back, and like the guy is just like, he's shirtless, super hairy, just dripping sweat everywhere. And he grabs the meat and he takes it and balls it up, and he sticks it under his arm and boom, smashes it, throw it on there. And he's like, they're like, in shock. He's like, man, you think that's crazy? You should see him make donuts.
Is that the dad joke? Did we just do a dad joke?
On that note, we continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week.
Dad joke of the week.
This week, Glenn's up.
Ooh,
All right.
Glenn.
Speaking of dads, we're going to go back to my beloved dad. And when I started dating, he told me there's six things I want you to know in order to make a long-lasting relationship. He goes, number 1, find a woman who makes you laugh. I'm like,
I already know where this is going.
That's cool. Number 2, find a woman that has a job and loves housework. Okay, that works out for me. That actually sounds pretty cool. Number 3, find a woman who is honest. That's a little hard, right? Because I think they all kind of passively lie one way or another. But yeah, okay. And then the fourth one is find a woman who will wait on you hand and foot. That's a good one, right? I think you guys can agree with that. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
got that.
Number 5 is find a woman who is awesome in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Kind of your equal,
Relate
right?
on that. Yep.
You're
Yeah.
equal.
Yeah. And then number 6, and most important of all, very important, that you never let these 5 women meet each other.
You chauvinistic pig, Glenn. How dare you? You and your dad.
All right, to wrap things up, you can trick ChatGPT into selling you a truck for $1. Keep
Or an
iMessage
SUV.
on Apple devices. Don't hack companies just to drum up business. And let's circle back on that. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. You can find us on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to all our listeners and subscribers who rate us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast on your favorite podcast listening app. My co-hosts Brian Deach and Glenn Medina. I'm Chris Lloyd. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next week. And as always, have a nice day.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, y'all.
Have a nice day.